All right, all right. It is another episode of Mental Health Mondays, where I talk to guests who are either mental health professionals, guests who live with or experience a mental health challenge, or mental health advocates. And I got a new microphone, so hopefully y'all can hear me okay. I can always turn it up. If not, I don't know, send me a message. I can hear myself in my ear, so hopefully you can. Anyways. So, as a reminder, if you're watching this, excuse me, on YouTube, make sure you mash down that button that says subscribe so that you don't miss another episode. We are officially on episode 50. Holy jamolies. I am only, 2 episodes away from a whole year of episodes, which is really, really cool. And my guest, unfortunately, today had to cancel last minute. So we'll get him rescheduled for probably later in January or February. But no worries. You get to hang out with me. And that's kind of cool because I have quite a bit I wouldn't say quite a bit, but I have some things that I wanted to go over. And specifically, because tomorrow is Giving Tuesday, it is one of the biggest days for donating to nonprofits across the world. And so I wanted to share a little bit about specifically Giving Tuesday and what BCC Evolution is doing and why you should donate to our fundraiser that we're currently doing. So, again, you're going to hang out with me today, which I think is just fine. I'll also give you some other ideas, tips, and tricks as we go into the holiday season. I didn't really have anything planned, so I just figured I would, do what I do. I improvise. I don't know if you like to improvise yourself. Sometimes it can be challenging, but I kind of like it. So, first and foremost, wherever you're watching this, just make sure you subscribe, share it with your friends. As a reminder, this podcast is now streaming across seven different platforms. Holy moly. Well, streaming, so you can listen to it, but you can watch it on 3 different platforms. So I guess technically 10 10 platforms that we have it going across. So, anyways, that's not why I'm here to talk to you about. But I do know as we go into the holiday seasons, it can be really challenging for people potentially. A lot of people are really, really honestly like struggling right now. The last few years with COVID, with the pandemic, with everything that has happened, we're really just now starting to see all the effects from the pandemic and being isolated and people now coming out into the world. And I totally feel like I called it, but I feel like every single year we're going to end up having to get a booster, which is just like the flu. And I was like, oh, watch, the COVID is going to have a booster. And I just saw I didn't come here to talk about the pandemic, but I don't know why. I saw a commercial and I was like, oh, they're saying that you can get the booster. And we have now a pill that you can take if you get it that will help, kind of like Tamiflu and all those other things that we have. So, anyways, not really important at all. But what I do want to share is that people really truly are struggling, even though we have been in this transition phase for quite some time. a lot of people still haven't transitioned out of it. A lot of people still stay at home. There's people that still wear masks. There's people that are still scared and fearful to go about their normal everyday life because they just don't know. Or maybe they've lost somebody and it's like, it's really, really real. I get it. It's really, really real. And some of us have had it and we've gone through it just fine. But now there's a lot of research and study coming out about the effects that it has on the brain, specifically around mental health and also just on memory and so many other things, which is really interesting, at least to me. Like I'm a total I'm a total geek when it comes to the brain. And I want to say thanks to my friend Sarah. She actually, the brain gal, she was the very first, one of the very first people that I started talking to that she knows everything about the brain. And her and I collaborated most recently on the Breaking the Cycle of Trauma education class that BCC Evolution offers. And there's a whole section. And I guess the reason why this is coming up is because this last weekend I trained another instructor. So, yay, we officially have 3 instructors for Breaking the Cycle, 4, including myself, for Breaking the Cycle of Trauma. And going through the curriculum every single time, I'm like, wow, this is really cool. Like, even though I wrote it with the help of lots of other amazing, talented, brilliant people, I still go through it and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Like, understanding the maturation periods and why, when we add in trauma or things of that nature when we're younger, why it affects us into adulthood. Like, that's really interesting for me. I totally geek out on things like that. And it's fun, like just understanding a little bit more of why we do what we do, I think is important. And every day I gain new skills, new knowledge all the time. And I like to share it with all of you because you take time out of your busy schedules to be here with me. And I notice that I'm having challenges with the streaming. So hopefully you guys can still hear me. All right. So what I want to talk about is as we go into the holidays, yes, it can be really challenging. Yes, people are still struggling. Yes, people are not at the top notch that they maybe were because maybe they had COVID. Now they have this memory fog and all these things that are happening within their body, and they're just not feeling like they want to go into the holidays. And I want you to know that that's okay. First and foremost, give yourself some grace. We don't have to always be so wound up and have to be able, I mean, the word that comes to my head is control. We don't have to control everything. We can also just be really fluid. And something that I really love with NLP or neuro linguistic programming, which is a modality or therapy that I am a master practitioner in, the person with the most flexibility has the most control. That's not exactly how it's said, but that's ultimately what it means is like the more that we can be flexible, the more that we actually have control. So oftentimes people try to control situations, and it leads to depression, it leads to anxiety, it leads to this feeling of fear, really. And so the more that we can really be flexible, flexible in the way that we say things, flexible in the way that we react to things, flexible in the way of how we attempt to like as parents, right? How we try to attempt to control our children, although they need us to control things for them because the rational part of their brain is not fully developed until 25, and now they're saying even up to 29. And so they think with the feeling part of their brain. They don't think with this rational part like up here, which is what we how we think as adults. So they need to be guided, but they don't necessarily need to be controlled. Routines are really good. Also implementing the routines around like what kind of control can you do, right? So you give, at least for me with my son, I give him the ors. So I do the or. Do you want this shirt or this shirt? Do you want these pants or these pants? So 2 options is really good. Although you're really controlling what they're wearing, it's still a form of giving them some control over what, or some say over what they want. So the same thing goes around holidays, right? Like, do you want to spend it with your family, or do you want to maybe go on a vacation, whatever that looks like, right? Being a little bit more flexible. Like today, I didn't know what I was going to come on here and talk about. And yes, my guest had to cancel at the last minute, but that's okay, right? Like I can be flexible. I can pick up and move it forward however it needs to be. So that's what I'm saying as far as like being flexible. Oftentimes, also, what happens is, especially with depression or anxiety, we're either living in the future or we're living in the past. And so, if that happens, then we get stuck in these cycles. And ultimately, we're not in the now. So, I always say, like, this is our now. This is me present. I am here with you. You are watching this with me right now. I'm having a conversation with the camera and you're watching and listening, and maybe you have thoughts that are popping up, and maybe you're going to throw a comment in the chat, and because you have questions that come up, just allow StreamYard to have permission, and then I can see it pop up over here. If I don't see it pop up over here, I'll go back to Facebook or LinkedIn or wherever you're watching and answer your question. So but if we are able to really live in the now, which is our present moment currently, and not, and not in the future or in the past, then that's when we can really start to change the depression or the anxiety or those things. And one really great process that I like to do is it's clearing the now. So it's basically just allowing your brain and your unconscious mind to start organizing the things that are, whether it's in your now, so your current. And I think I've done this process actually on one of my other random mental health Mondays podcasts. But ultimately, like, you can close your eyes, you ask your unconscious mind, like, what is in your now, and allow your unconscious mind to organize the things that are in your now, putting the like with like, the family with family, the work with work, and so on. Then you take a look and see what is in your now that doesn't belong in your now, and allow your unconscious mind to move those things that belong in the future, like what you're going to do once you leave here, or in the far future. So it can be distant future or far future, and allow your unconscious mind to move those into your future, or those things that maybe what you did right before you came here, that belongs in your past. Or the things that are or were in your past, those also belong in your past. They don't belong in your now. And you allow your unconscious mind to move those things out of your now. And then you flow into your future and you organize that. So you put the like with like, the family with family, the work with work, and so on until it's organized. Then you flow into where you store your past, and you put your like with like, your family with family, and your work with work. And you allow your unconscious mind to really start organizing these things. Then you float back to your now. And now you can be present with me, present with your family, present with whatever you're doing. Because what belongs in your now is what's happening now. What you're doing in the future doesn't belong in your now. And what you did in the past, it belongs in your past. And so being able to organize those things and allowing your unconscious mind to really do that for you can be a really powerful tool. And it's something I use all the time. And I just love it because, especially when I have clients, because normally when they show up, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, whatever was going on, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's cool. Totally fine. Remember that flexibility. I'm okay. You're okay. I'm safe. You're safe. We're here now. So let's clear it all out of the way so that we can be present on what we're doing right now. And I'm not perfect at this by any means, and I have to remind myself to do that because I'm like, "Oh, I need to do this," or, "Oh, I need to do that." Oh, right? Stop, focus, redirect center, what belongs here now. And for me, you watching this and me being here present with you is what belongs right now. All the things that I have to do after we get off of this, it'll be done. And that's okay. So that's just a tool or a technique. And I know that I've had so many really amazing guests on this podcast that have given you some really awesome, quick, fast, simple tools that you can use on a daily basis. Like I still love the one that Tanya gave me, which was, and I think I talked about this a couple ones ago too, was the blah, blah, blah. I just forgot the name of it, but it's the breath. So it's the and it resets your system. So it calms you down and it helps and it's pretty quick. So I use that one pretty often, and that's one I remembered. There's a lot of other tools that people have given, like even my voice, it calms down when I do that. And so breathing can be really powerful too. I bring this one up to breathing specifically because if you're going through pain, if you are focusing on things again in the future or in the past, breathe through it, right? Take those deep breaths. Like make sure you're taking deep breaths, not just like the chesty breaths or the gut breaths, like the whole gut and chest breaths. Like if you are feeling really anxious, those work there too. So there's lots of little tiny tools that you can utilize as we go into the holidays. And maybe it's when you get around family or friends or a certain situation that like these emotions start bubbling up. Take a breath, take a quick breath, and make sure you fill out your chest and your belly and all of that. And I know it's easier said than done, but just something to keep in mind. So, shifting a little bit to what I want to share about Giving Tuesday. Because tomorrow, again, like I said, it's Giving Tuesday, and it is the largest day of giving or donations across the world. And the thing about tomorrow is that if on the Giving Tuesday fundraisers that pop up, Meta, they double up to it's 7 million this year. I think that's every year, but oftentimes the smaller nonprofits don't get very much. I did get some that were matched last year. Not very many, but that's okay. So we just started early. So I already launched. We have non we have fundraisers across almost all of our platforms. So we have a fundraiser launched on Instagram, we have a fundraiser launched on Facebook, and then we have our fundraiser on Give Lively. But the easiest way to donate, and you can do it now. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. You can do it now. And now actually is a better time if you're going to text us anyways. But you can text Climb for Mind to 44321. And what that goes to is it's our Climb for the Mind fundraiser that we launched a couple of months ago. Our goal, I was trying to pull it up here so that you can see it. Our goal is to raise a total of $60,000. I know that sounds like a lot, but I want to put it into perspective for you. So $60,000 for BCC Evolution, that means that we can cover 12 mental health first aid classes, fully sponsored with 30 individuals. That doesn't sound like a lot, to be honest, because I have already this year, I've already done 14 classes myself. I have educated 14 classes through BCC Evolution and through other organizations this year. A good chunk of the people that came through those were sponsored spots. Although we do charge for our classes, it's not a huge fee. That's actually one of our lowest price points, one of them that we offer across the board. And so when I get requests for people that really want to take the classes, sometimes I have to reject them or I just don't pay myself to do the educating portion. And that's not really fair either. None of those scenarios are fair. So why we're trying to raise that amount is because then we can sponsor spots in our classes. And I had the pleasure of educating multiple rural communities within Colorado, their counselors was it last weekend? No, it was like 2 weekends ago. And then I have another one this weekend. So I'm doing some classes through UNC. They were able to get a grant. They didn't quite factor in the educator or the trainer pay. It's fine. But that's what I'm talking about is there's so many rural communities, even within Colorado, within other states that really need access to this training, but they don't get access to it because they're not able to afford it. And I know that's why there's grants in places. We unfortunately within BCC Evolution have not gotten any of those grants. We've tried, but we were not successful in getting the grants. But now we have a lot more data this year, again, because I've taught 14 classes and still have one more that I'm going to be teaching this year. And so all those people, I mean, if you take, so we can have 30 people in each class, and if we're doing 12 classes, what is that? Yep. I got to use my calculator. So that's 360 people that we could potentially sponsor with those funds, right? And that's why I just want to put it in relation for you is that $60,000 at least for BCC Evolution, that only covers 12 total classes. I would absolutely love to cover more classes, more education, more people that are out there that know how to assist, recognize, and identify mental health challenges so that somebody doesn't choose the route of suicide. I mean, really, truly, and this is going to sound probably pretty straightforward, but I want you to understand it's like somebody comes to me and they say, I really need help, Kelli. And I say, I would love to show you how I can help you and train you and give you the tools and the resources that you need. But I'm sorry, we don't have funding. So you're going to have to go talk to somebody else. Well, who should I talk to? I don't know. I have a couple people that you can reach out to. Hopefully, they can fit you in. I don't know though. They have a waiting list, and their waiting list right now is about 3 months. Oh, but wait, if you go to this other place, it's about 3 years. I'm not exaggerating. Most companies within or organizations, mental health facilities, their average wait list right now is anywhere from 3 months up to 3 years. Could you imagine being in a crisis and having to wait 3 years to talk to somebody? But what if I had my best friend? My best friend is trained in mental health first aid, or my best friend isn't trained in breaking the cycle of trauma. And they know how to ask me the hard questions. They also know how to connect me to professional help or self help strategies, or just get me through this small space, this time limited space that I'm having suicidal thoughts. How powerful is that? Because I know how to ask the questions and I know how to help somebody when they're in need. I also am trained in multiple different therapies that I can help people. But unfortunately, not all of them can afford my services. And I don't know if you saw, if you're on Facebook or you're one of my friends, maybe you saw my live the other day. I had a lot of um, imposter syndrome coming up. And then I was reminded that I'm actually trained in a lot of things, like beyond most counselors or therapists, because I'm human trained and I know how to ask those hard questions. And that's really cool to get that reminder, is that I have the training, I have the skills. I can help people, humans, get through whatever they're going through. And I don't have a wait list. Not right now, at least. I probably will. I mean, my schedule is getting pretty jam-packed, but I don't have a wait list. You don't have to wait 3 months to talk to me. You might have to wait a week, but a week is better than 3 months. And even in between that space and that time, if somebody gets on my calendar and they're like, "I need to talk to you today," I will move something around. That's powerful. But the thing about it is I can't continue to give my services away for free. That's not fair to me. That's not fair to my family. That's not fair to my bills. Debt collectors like you when you're not paying your bills. So I can't continue to give things free. But I want to be able to educate people. And that's why this is so important for BCC Evolution. It's to be able to pay me for the things that I do on a daily basis, like this Mental Health Monday podcast show. I bring on guests that are resources to you. I also give you tips and tricks of how you can help yourself or help others. I'm also able to educate people around mental health and suicide so that we can prevent it, or at least give you awareness of what you should say or do or be or have or how you can help. That's pretty powerful. And it also affords us the luxury of collaborating with others. Not that we have to pay, but it still takes time of networking for me to set up those hand-holding relationships with people. Time is money, right? Everybody says that. Time is money. You should be paying yourself what you're worth. And I continually have people tell me that I don't. But I know that I'm worth it. And I know that what I do is really valuable. And I know that my board backs me up 100% and would absolutely love to do more things with BCC Evolution. We just don't have the funding right now. And that's sad. That sucks. It's like telling your kid, "I'm sorry, you can't go to the movies with your friend because I don't have any money to let you go." And I'm sure if you're a parent, that's hard. It's hard to go into the holidays, right? "I'm sorry, I can't buy you any presents. Nothing's going to be under the tree," or maybe we can't get a tree because we don't have money to do that. But maybe if I knew some really cool people that did have money that would be able to support so that we can support others, that's how it all, this cycle, how it all plays together. Because you being able to help us, which is BCC Evolution, means that we can help others and we can actually truly make an impact and a dent in the mental health and suicide prevention space. It sucks having to turn people away. And I know that's a challenge across the board with all mental health facilities. They either don't have the staff or they don't have the funds. There's so many things, right? But how do we fill in that gap? And that gap is filled in by you. You can be the change. You can be the person that understands. You can be the one person that somebody needs, that knows how to listen and listen non-judgmentally, because that's a skill. It's not innate in us to listen non-judgmentally. It's a skill that we have to build, and we have to learn how to do that. And that's where all of our classes come in. And again, I was reminded this weekend after training our new instructor how valuable and incredible the curriculum that I wrote is. I'm telling you, I have imposter syndrome pop up all the time. It's absolutely human. I get anxious. I get worried. I have overwhelm. I live in this world every single day in the mental health world. And sometimes it gets to me. We're all human. We all experience things. We all experience them different, but we all have experiences. And how cool would that be to just have a little space of where BCC Evolution is able to offer mental health classes and services to those that can't potentially afford it. But that has to come from donations. We try. We will continue to try for grants. We will continue to ask the large corporations for money. That won't stop. But there's still a lot of day-to-day fees that nonprofits have. And so going into Giving Tuesday tomorrow, I want you to keep that in mind. Yes, I want to break a myth. Nonprofits can make money. Just because you're a nonprofit does not mean you're not a business. Just because you're a charity does not mean that you can't make money. Also, nonprofits should be paying the people that work for them. You shouldn't have to have multiple jobs just to survive to be working for a nonprofit. You should be able to do the impactful work every single day because what you do freaking matters. And you should also be worthy enough to be able to be paid for the work that you do. It's just like if you went into, I heard this the other day because they were talking about, I think, speakers or coaches. It was something like that, right? So if you go into McDonald's and you say, I want a number two, I don't know what a number two is. I haven't been to McDonald's forever. But anyways, if you would go into McDonald's and you say, I want a number two, and they're like, it'll be blah, 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 blah money. And you're like, oh, well, can I make a payment plan? Can I put a payment plan on that? Or, well, I get paid in like 2 weeks. Would it be okay if I pay you then? What do you think they're going to say? Get out of here. Or if you went into, I mean, think about it. You could go into any place, right? If you went into a chiropractor and you said, I think I want you to do 10 adjustments and I'm not going to pay you. Or the same with a doctor. If you walked into a doctor and you said, just because you're a private practice and you don't take insurance, that just means that I'm not going to pay you. Or a therapist or a counselor or any of those people. You pay them because they're valuable and they help you, right? They're not going to give away their services for free. So why? That just actually, my head literally was like, ding. Why would I give mine away for free too? Weird. See, learning something new every day. But the same goes, right? Same goes for service-based people, coaches, speakers, all of those things, right? Like, why do we have to take less of educators, trainers, all of those things, take less for services that we provide? We shouldn't, right? but with the caveat of understanding that those that need it the most need to be supported. You could be one of those person. I could be one of those person. We can all be that one person that somebody needs at one point in time. So that's what I'm asking. Here's what you can do. That was the longest whirlwind. Woo. All right. So here it is. This is how you donate right now. All you have to do is text Climb for Mind to 44321. One of the coolest parts about donating this way is you actually get extra perks because this goes towards our next year. What myself and Philip are doing is we are climbing for our minds, like literally. So you go up, up, and down 13, I don't even have enough fingers for that, 13 different times. So you're ultimately climbing 29,029. And with that, it is, you get 36 hours here. I'm just gonna, so you get 36 hours to reach 29,029 feet. It's the equivalent height of Mount Everest. So you hike up the mountain, you take the gondola down and repeat it. And it ends up being about 13 times up and down, day and night for 36 hours to complete. And some have finished and some have not. And I will tell you, it is really, it's a whole mental, physical, spiritual event or challenge that is hard to categorize. And I know they say in here, a new category of challenge that's equal parts physical, mental, and spiritual. Do you have the heart and will to climb the mountain again and again to earn the right to say you Everested? This is not a race. This is you versus you. And so ultimately, the reason why I know Philip wants to do it is because he has lost, and probably lost even more at this point, but he's lost 110 pounds since June of 2021. And he continues to lose more and more, which is amazing. And he's just done that by walking and change in diet. So incredible. But he has never done anything that has pushed him to the limit. He has also struggled with his mental health for years and years and years. And this is a huge mental challenge. For me, I want to be able to go because one, the whole thing about BCC Evolution is that we make sure that nobody ever feels alone. Like, I don't want him doing this by himself. Like, why would I be like, oh yeah, go raise a bunch of money for BCC Evolution? As I started researching more and more, I was like, I can't let you do this alone. Like, how how I was going to say crazy, and that's not the word. How cuckoo bonkers, cuckoo bananas would that be for me to allow him to do it alone? Like, here, go do this off by yourself. Like, that's not what BCC Evolution is about. And I have never in my lifetime pushed myself this much, ever, 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 ever. And so for me, like, it is going to be mental, physical, spiritual. I mean, holy moly. But the cool part, what I was getting back to, is that when you donate here or you just go to the link, I'll throw the link in here too. That is the link. If you go to this, there are extra perks that you get. So if you donate $100 or more and you have lost somebody to suicide, substance abuse, another mental health challenge, you have the opportunity to put their name on the shirts that we are creating for this event. I'm going live every single Monday, right? We're on our 50th episode right now. I am going to continue to go live forever and ever until, I don't know, forever, until nobody else watches. And so pause for a drink. So you can put a name on there and I will give you shout outs. We're also going to go live during the event. So literally, like, the world can watch what we're doing. They can also see the name of whomever you put on the shirt showcase. I think that's pretty cool. And then any donations above that, the perks just keep going. As a corporation, if you're a business or a corporation, if you sponsor $1,000 or more, your business logo will go on the backs of our t-shirts. So that's where all of our sponsored companies, organizations, independent businesses, all of those will go on the back of the t-shirt. And depending on your level, the bigger the logo gets on the shirts. So that's where this that one, if you donate there, it will ultimately, you'll get extra perks, or just text climb for your mind. And I want to show you if I can get, let's see if I can show you the screen. All right. I'm going to give you, all right. I want you to see this because it's pretty incredible. The YouTube. So one sec. Let me make sure. Da, 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 da. All right. And let's make sure you can hear. All right. So hopefully you'll be able to hear this. I don't know. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Actually, let me try something here really quickly. One sec. I know. All right. Okay. Let's watch this. It's really cool.
Let's do this.
But now it's not time for me to be proud of you. It's time for you to show what you're made of so that you can be proud of yourself. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Guys, let's get it.
To complete an event like 29.029, you have to go into yourself. Every single person that toes this line has their own individual why. Why do you want to put yourself through this much challenge, this much pain? Why do you want to get to the mountaintop so much?
My why is to push my limits.
Love a challenge.
Unlocking levels.
Open my soul.
Just see if I can do it. I don't need easy, I just need possible.
I am capable.
Creatures of my dreams raise up and dance now and forever.
That is intense, but it makes me really, really emotional. Ooh. Because my why is so strong and it's so innate. Innate, that's probably not the right word, but it's so strong at this point in my life. I'm so sick of people dying around me. And I know that it's important that we have these open conversations. And I think it's important that we actually get trained and we get educated. And it's important to keep my sister's journey alive. And this is why I do what I do on a daily basis. This is why I share all of this information with you. Because it's really freaking important. And we need your help. I can't do it alone. BCC Evolution Board can't do it alone. Philip can't do it alone. You don't need to do it alone. What we need to do in this world, in this life, is to support each other and stop being so naive, is the word that's coming to my mind. It is really important for me to be able to do this climb. And I want to showcase your company. I want to showcase the name of the people that you have lost. And I want this world to start acknowledging that it's freaking important to talk about our mental health. It is just as important as your physical health. When are we going to just stop and start listening? When are we going to start learning the skills it's going to take to save somebody's life? How can you be the one person for somebody else that's going through it and having a really hard time? Nobody's perfect. I don't have all the answers. But what I know is the more and more that things happen, like the shooting that just happened in Colorado Springs at Club Q, it's got to stop. And we've got to make a change. And we can't do that alone. We've got to show the world that mental health is important. And I'm not saying by any means that the shooting was mental health related, because only 4% of violence is mental health related. So that's another myth that I'm breaking for you. Not everybody suffers from a mental health challenge. Not everybody struggles. Not everybody suffers. But change has to happen. And it can start small and grow even bigger. But how else? What is a better platform to share this with the world? Showcasing names on shirts and telling the story about somebody that you lost. Because their life mattered. Your life matters. Maybe you're that person that struggles. Maybe you're that person that suffers. And you matter. Maybe your name should go on that shirt and we should tell your story. But my why is very, very strong at this point. Because I'm sick of hearing of other friends or other relatives that are dying due to substance abuse or liver failure or kidney failure or suicide or all those things. We have to make a change. And it can be as simple as getting educated. I didn't know. I didn't understand what my sister was going through. It isn't until now, and after I started gaining all these certificates and all this knowledge and things, this awareness of myself, that I really started truly understanding. And that's why I'm saying that it matters. We should be able to help and support other people. So I'm challenging you, whether it's today or whether it's tomorrow, please support BCC Evolution. You can text this number. You'll get to this page. You'll be able to donate on here. And you can watch the video that Philip and I did if you haven't watched that Mental Health Monday yet. It also shows you our journey. It tells you what it's all about on this page. You can read why and what you're helping us accomplish. You can also go on here and create your own fundraiser. I want to fundraise for this page. Right here. I want to fundraise for this page. Make it a game. Bring in your friends. Challenge your company. Who can actually raise the most money? Maybe you don't have money right now. That's okay. Go raise some money for us. Launch a Giving Tuesday fundraiser on Facebook for BCC Evolution. And I want to say thank you to Mary. She's already launched one. So thank you so much, Mary. I appreciate you. I appreciate you choosing BCC Evolution. Go launch a fundraiser on Facebook. Go launch a fundraiser on Instagram. Go launch your own fundraiser on this. There's lots of ways that you can help without having to even have any money. But it takes a village. Like they say with kids, it really truly takes a village to fund a nonprofit and fund the work and the impact that we are doing. There's lots of ways that you can help. There's lots of ways that you can support. But what I can say is that Giving Tuesday comes up every single year. And so this year, I challenge you to make a difference in somebody's life. Help us make a difference in somebody's life. Whether you come to one of our classes and you learn how to recognize and identify signs and symptoms, or you learn how to actually help somebody or start to listen non-judgmentally, I'm telling you, it's a skill. It is not something that you're just going to figure out on your own. It's a skill that you need to learn. Or maybe you want to understand how the brain works and why trauma affects us. Or maybe you want to make a safety or self-care plan, something that we offer in our Breaking the Cycle of Trauma. It's also actually offered on 2 other products that we have. Our Shift Your Mindset Bootcamp and your Re-Engage Resilience Masterclass. The Shift Your Mindset Bootcamp is already on the BCC Evolution page, and I will get the Reengage Resilience loaded up on the page or up on our website today. So there's lots of ways for you to get educated, and those 2 classes are at a really low price point. So there's no excuse. Maybe you don't have the money right now, but when is a good time to save somebody's life? If not now, how long are you going to wait? Until they're not here with you anymore? Because that's what happened to me. It's what happened with a lot of people that were really close to me. I waited. I was too busy. I didn't care. I didn't know any better. But you know what? When you know better, you can do better. So that's what I'm saying to you right now is when you know better, you can do better. And you know better now how you can help somebody. So take a moment today or tomorrow or whenever it might be and donate. Or come to a class and get educated. Or just reach out to me. Let me know you need help. Because like I said, I don't have a waiting list. And maybe you need support today. And maybe I'm not available, but maybe I could refer you to somebody that is. Because I have a whole network of people that are incredible and willing to help. It's not easy asking for help. I get it. Definitely not easy. I don't like asking for help. Hence the reason maybe we've gotten to this place at this point. But I want to be able to continue the work that we're doing. We're going into our 5th year, which is pretty incredible. 5 years. 5 years with BCC Evolution. That is pretty amazing. And now we have it locked down. The business plan is in place. Again, nonprofits can make money because they are a business. And what we do really matters. So this has gone a lot longer than most of my mental health Mondays, but I kind of purposely did that, to be honest. And the reason why I wanted to go a little bit longer is because I want you to know the importance, and I want you to know what we can help, what we can provide, what we can do, how we can be there for you or for those that you love. How you can be there for those that you love, those friends, family, all those people. There's a way, and I can teach you. I can train you. We have lots and lots and lots of resources on our website, and I'm about to add even more. But if you need somebody, also go look at all of our past Mental Health Mondays, because every single guest that I've had on has been incredible and an amazing resource. And most of them also don't have waiting lists. They might cost a lot more than your insurance will pay, but I promise you, they're probably actually going to help you. Not probably. They will help you because I highly vet the people that I put in my circle. Because I want to make sure that it's helpful and not hurtful. And I will never, ever recommend somebody that is going to hurt you. With that said, I just want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me, sticking with me, sticking with me for this whole episode. And there you go. That's how random days go, that we have to change it up a little bit. But there's one more place, one more space that you can continue this conversation if you need support now. There is an app and it's called Circles. It's a really cool website, but every single Monday we do a free support group for grief and loss. And keep in mind, grief is not necessarily, excuse me, just the loss of a person. It could be a loss of identity. It could be the loss of a pet. It could be a divorce. It could be a trauma of some sort. We grieve and go through loss very, very different. We all experience things differently. And so if you need extra support that you actually want to get into and talk to me and talk to others and find your tribe, all you have to do is download the Circles app. And I will drop it in the comments of this so that you can link into it right away. But again, it's a free support group. We run it from 12:30 to 1:30 Mountain Standard Time every single Monday. I have been in conversations to add another room, which may end up being potentially on Wednesdays, like doing a Wellness Wednesday type thing. I don't know. We haven't figured it out yet. But again, it is a free resource and support group that you can jump in, and even more reason why we need to get funds built up so that we can start offering more and more of these, because people really truly are in need and need help, especially going into the holidays. So if you happen to be joining now and you're just watching this recording, make sure you go back and watch the beginning of this. I shared some tips and tools. Also, just let you know a little bit more about why we really truly need your help either today or tomorrow, specifically for Giving Tuesday, what we're actually funding, how that looks as far as what we need the funding for. All of this funding that we will be raising will go towards classes. It'll go towards our events, because we currently offer 2 events per year. That's our annual gala, which is coming up on February 18th. It's going to be 80s theme. It's going to be awesome. It is in Parker, Colorado. So if you're in Colorado, go grab your tickets now. I think early bird prices are still up. It was so much fun last year, the year before, and then the year before. So grab your ticket this year. You can actually pick your spot where you want to sit, which is pretty cool. So go grab your tickets to that. And our second event of the year is our Mental Health and Suicide Awareness Film Festival, where we showcase films from across the world that are centered around mental health and suicide, so that we can continue to have the conversation. Because again, this is a world issue, a world challenge. It's not just the United States, and the stats just keep going up and up and up. And there are so many, so much, just so much. And I know if you're watching this on Facebook, I made a post yesterday, so go check that out. Just the celebrities that have died by suicide or substance abuse. I could have gone on forever and ever, but unfortunately on Instagram, at least, you can't have that much text. And so go check that out. There's also a lot of stats, recent stats that I added on there. Go check those out, because it's just getting worse and worse. And again, mental health should be as important as physical health. We need to start treating it that way. So either come join us here in about 15-ish minutes on the Circles app. I'll drop the link, or come back next Monday. And I do have a guest for next Monday. Hopefully they don't reschedule. But also feel free to share this. Make sure you mash down the subscribe button or follow us depending on where you're watching. Most likely, if you're watching this on Facebook or LinkedIn, you're already following us. Or if you don't want to sit here and watch me, go and listen on any of the other 7 platforms. All right, y'all. I appreciate you. I am grateful. I am thankful. I love the work that I do, and I am so honored to be able to share this space with you. And I really appreciate and hope that this was helpful, useful knowledge, and that you take the time to actually go, whether you're donating or you're going to create your own fundraiser to help BCC Evolution, all of it. I appreciate you. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next Monday. Bye, y'all.